Hello, my Taurus collective. Welcome to Daughter of Wind Tarot. My name is Mara, and I'll be taking care of your intuitive needs. Sorry, I got people rolling up on me here. So Cancer's reading, I was out in the middle of a field at the beginning of the Maricopa Trail, so that was actually really cool. Because I had like the mountain backdrop and everything like that. And then on the way home, it almost feels like a big cheat because I'm going downhill the whole way. And so I bombed down the road. Hello. I bombed down the road. Took my hands off the handlebars there for a minute. That was fun. But actually it's the first time I've been up that road on my new bike, one that's not $20 with only one brake. It went so fucking fast. It went so fast. I was like, is anybody clocking me right now? It was a lot of fun. And I used to live over here, and I realized, you know what? I've been called to share my experience of, living in the flow, staying in the flow, trying to stay in the flow. How did I get to the flow? That's been my calling, is to come forth and not just to throw out cards and say like, ooh, I can read your energy, but show you how I got to this place, because we all have innate gifts. We're all psychic, we're all readers, we're all freaking David Goggins. We have all of that inside of us. It's just a matter of unlocking it in our own personal journey. And so my personal journey started out, gosh, who am I talking to? Taurus. Basically a relationship that I didn't want to screw up, and I knew I had issues that I needed to face before I got into a relationship with someone that I didn't want to ruin with all of my baggage. That didn't work. That's fine. But what did work was me looking inside. And it started, I read, I'm like, I might just have to do a collective video, because I'm like, if I just tell it to my Taurians, the word will never go out there if people only watch their sun signs and don't watch everything else. Anyways, okay, I'm just thinking about that. I'm like, should I restart it? No, we're not going to restart it. That's just a tantalizing. Anyways, I'm in the little meadow that I started going out and just saying, okay, can I walk 10 feet a day? Can I walk 100 feet? Can I walk a mile? Can I sit for 2 minutes on a bench to meditate? Because meditating scared me so much. So I rode my bike to this bench, sat down for 2 minutes, and then all of a sudden the meadow started talking to me. It's not as pretty as it was before, but this little meadow here, and like all of the birds started chirping at me. All of the bunny rabbits started coming out and saying hello. All of the ants here started to come and say hello. I don't even know how to describe it, but like this crappy little residential field on this crappy little bench that has like keyed up markings on it became like the most magical place in the world for me, where I just started noticing the leaves and the bees and the bugs and all the things that people are like, oh, take notice of nature, but I didn't realize it was like dancing around me. So in times like this, I definitely think that it's important to find things that bring a little magic to our life. So I'm back here saying hello. I can hear the Air Force guys. I always like to wave at them and say hello. I lived on a couple Air Force bases, so it's nice just to say hello and thank them for their service for us, right? So I am working with the shamanic deck. I'm telling you, as soon as I came, those birds started mating over there. I had 2 more mating over here. It's very magical. Sounds fake, doesn't it, with all the birds and chirping and everything like that? So, alright, what messages do you have for my Taurus collective? I'm using the shamanic deck and just kind of riffing and intuiting off of that. What messages do you have for my Tauruses? But I'm glad you made it. I'm glad the sun's going away too. I was like, oh, melanoma, my first day, not to make light of Cancer, but it was a little intense. And now I'm wondering, I'm so glad I brought my rain jacket. Well, living in the mountains, you can't go out and not expect it to randomly rain, even if it's Arizona. If you live by the mountains, you can always expect it. If there's a cloud in the sky, it can happen. So Oh, there we go. Oh, interesting. I was actually thinking about that card. I didn't know I was thinking about it until it came out. Okay, so we've got Lower World. Where are you taking me, Taurus? Where are you taking me? And we have the street cleaner, making it all beautified here. Any other messages for Taurus? Other than the lower world? Any other messages for Taurus? Interesting. Come on, Taurus. Oh, there we go. The blade that came out for Gemini yesterday. Blade of Truth. Right. So, one more card for Taurus. Oh, we got a formation of 3. Did you see them? Oh my god. They were right over my shoulder. They disappeared into the cloud. That was so cool. That was so cool. You got to see them. Yay. I think they're F-16s. I don't know, they're flying the 35s out here. I think it's 35, 25, 30s. 30s, I don't know. Wow, this is taking forever. 6 minutes in, I've only got 2 cards. Alright, oh, there. You didn't see that, did you? It flew out and flew right there. Okay, so we have Lower World, Thoughts, Low Vibe Communications, Inner Sanctum, Lack thereof, Blade, Crucifying Truth is what I'm just hearing. Wow. And then the Council, which flew out and landed there. Taurus, I hear you're going through the depths of it. Aren't we all? Like, not to make light, but yeah, getting stuck in a negatory vibrational, it's your, I want to say your experience. I guess it would be your experience, your environment is what I'm trying to say. Your environment is what's bringing you down. The low vibration communication, being stuck around people that can't bring their head up for water, being stuck around people that can't see the forest through the trees, not being able to take their minds of what's going on, not being able to function. Taurus is going through it. Wow. I just want to hold space for you, Taurus. It's gonna be okay. I guess the question, I felt the need to do that, and maybe the question is are you holding space for yourself? Because, in times like this, I think sometimes it's a little difficult. We can get frustrated with people that are staying in these low vibrational places, but I mean, the worst of, people, a lot of people's worst fears are happening right now, and it's very easy to get trapped in that, but we do not have to stay there. We do not have to, and yes, it's very easy to say, stay high vibrational, but I guess the question is, how do we go about doing that? A lot of people all my life, I was very sheltered as a kid, and I guess when I grew up, I just decided to continue sheltering myself from a lot of things, including like violent TV shows, stuff like that. But now that I'm realizing that, because there's been a lot of times, especially when I was in a very public type of position where I needed to know my facts and everything like that, let's say real estate, it was very good for me to, and when I was a flight attendant, it was very good for me to know the goings-ons of what's going on around me, right? But even to that point, I stuck my head in the sand, not out of ignorance, but just, I didn't know at the time that, I took on a lot of people's energy, whether it be on television or just the vibe of the collective or my parents or whatever, the environment around me. And so as self-preservation, I just stopped tuning into everything around me, and that's what I'm feeling like right now is saving me, is saving my saving grace. I don't even do a check-in in the morning, and I'm not trying to scold you or tell you you're doing something wrong, whatever. What I'm telling you, what works for you, for what works for me. I mean, at the beginning of this, first 2 weeks, I was having to push other people's energy, like literally every 15, 20 seconds. It happened the other day. I got somebody in the house with really, just in a really bad headspace, and I had to constantly this isn't my anxiety. Oh my God, this isn't mine. Don't take it on. And so we don't realize how much that affects us. And that's what I just feel like here, this lower world. I'm getting this ick Nickelodeon, what's the stuff? The slime. I'm getting the slime off of this, and that it's just, even though if you walk through it and you're clean, you still pick up some stuff. Like my friend just got her kid this egg. It looks like a runny egg, and you slam it against the wall and it sticks to the wall, and then but it sticks, right? And it just hangs onto the wall. But because there's so many dogs and so much crap on the floor or whatever, by the end of the day, the egg was not sticking to the wall anymore because there was this layer of fuzz around it, right? From it just laying around, from it hitting the wall, from it bumping into things, its environment, it got this layer of film around it, just like we do as we pick up people's energy. I've even heard people say your hair, your antenna. And even though, like, for me, I'm like, okay, take it, grain of salt or whatever. I love the idea of it, of just being that aware that people's energy, or that it can be that invasive, that it can get all in your hair. Have you ever met somebody that has no boundaries? And it just feels like they're all like all up in your business, whether it be your personal hygiene, or, what I mean, and your business and your phone and your bedroom and your, just no boundaries whatsoever. And a lot of people don't even realize that they need to have boundaries, much less keep them. And so we absorb all of that. So just be really, really careful. And I guess what I was going here is tune out, not just for a day. Like I don't even do COVID check-ins. Like in the morning, I was doing one in the morning at night. Why am I looking at the death toll? Why? What do the numbers mean to me? Just like Friday the 13th, what does that number mean to me? Absolutely nothing in the scheme of things. I don't think it's unlucky. Just somebody, today or yesterday was Friday the whatever. The other day was Friday the 9th. Why aren't we scared of that? Right? So again, the death toll is the death toll, and I'm not making light of it, but keep your exposure. And like for me, it's not even the number that affects me, it's the actual, when I get onto the app, it's the energy coming off the news. I don't know if it's my anticipation or what, but just even turning your phone, like my roommate, I told her, just put her phone in airplane mode, and now she's sleeping with it in another room, in a separate room, and she's stopped doing like the triad sleeping thing where she was just sleeping every 3-4 hours and getting up and stressing out or whatever. She was being able to, just not having that, not looking at it. Like I don't look at my phone unless it's YouTube for a reader. I'm looking for a reader's reading for me. Before noon, I don't even let the rays, the energy get to me. So you really got to protect yourself energetically, even if you got to pour yourself a glass of wine in the bathtub to get away. But really what a lot of us need is just a good night's sleep, even though we feel like we're sleeping constantly, or to get out and burn ourselves out. I've already done 10 miles a day, and I feel like I can do another 15. But the past 3 days, I haven't been able to lift a pinky, So being kind to yourself, knowing what the truth is here. We have this blade of truth. And knowing what your truth is, not what other people's truth, not what other people feel, as much conversation as you can have, or whether you want to open your mouth or not open your mouth. You've got to put boundaries up. That's what I feel, in the upright, this is all about wielding it and being tactful. And then, in the bottom, it can be cutting away or what have you. But here, I feel like you need to be using it top to bottom and setting some boundaries for yourself. And man, I'm just like looking at this. I don't mean to gloss over the sort of truth or what have you, but really it's, what works for me. How do you set that boundary with that family member, with that child, with that what have you? You need to know how you're feeling, and how do we know what our truth is? I have to ask myself, especially as the word light worker or whatever it is, but now I'm becoming so much more aware of my energy again. and I'm learning what foods energize me versus the ones that don't. And it's just all about being aware. It's not whether you're going to eat it or not. I'm still going to drink beer. I'm still going to have carbs. I'm still going to eat red meat here and there. I just know there's consequences. And the same thing is, you know what your truth is, but a lot of people are like, I don't know what I'm feeling. And a lot of it's mixed in, you know, the anxiety, so if you can't pinpoint what it is, if it's a general anxiety, say, is this mine? You know, am I taking this on? And if it is, if you say, is this my energy? And it doesn't alleviate, then yes, it's yours. And how do you go about doing something about it? Doing something you love. Dance, write, run, walk, do something you hate. Do something that feels like something. Just do anything other than placating, apathetic. You know, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to feel. I don't know how I feel, because I do feel depressed and lonely and anxious and all of these things. Start taking them apart. First of all, find out if it's yours. And if it is, how do I alleviate this? How do you alleviate? Okay, well, how do I alleviate depression? You know what it does? Just a little bit is get the fuck outside. Like, I'm not even just saying, like, you know, go for a walk and be healthy, whatever. I'm talking about check out a blade of grass. Like, just get off of the screen. Take the blue screen off. Live in your truth. I am sad right now. I'm going to be sad, but you know what? I'm going to be sad outside. Or I'm going to be sad in a bath. And give yourself a time limit. And say, okay, I'm feeling a little depressed. What would make me feel better? Like, for me, when I flew, I watched stand-up comedy. If I couldn't laugh myself, if I couldn't find it, if I didn't have any funny friends in my time zone or whatever it is, I took it upon myself to take care of myself. Whether it was I needed to laugh or I needed to feel sleepy, or there were definitely times where I was like, I just need a good cry, and I would put on a movie that damn sure was going to make me cry because I felt like I needed to release something, and I just felt it, but I didn't know exactly what it was. Okay? And so that's what I feel like right here. I'm just sorry. I'm like, are you okay? Are you okay? I'm like, am I okay? Are my eyelashes okay? I feel like they're about to take over my face. I used like an old mascara, and now I'm all like, maybe I shouldn't have used that. Sorry. But yeah, the counsel here, you know, we could take it as, you know, laying down and being in counsel with yourself and all this other stuff. Here, I just feel like it's laying down, but not just laying down to sleep. Go within, resting, Four of Swords, rest and relaxation. But this is more of an inwards. This isn't just lay down. This is a put a force field around you energetically to keep you safe and sound. You know, mental health right now, there's a lot to be said about just feeling okay during the day, you know, much less feeling like you have to do something or that you have to be something for anyone else. I think that's where I'm really getting this feel, is that you are just so energetically drained and you feel bad that you cannot say no to the people that are around you because of the situation. But again, here comes my flight attendant training in here. Sorry, I'm just watching a bird land. As I say flight attendant, and I was just like, man, that was such a smooth landing. Again, those synchronicities. But you know, and we hear it over and over, put your mask on first. No, put your mask on first. You've got to be able to breathe to save everybody else. Like, that is just, or you can just pretend to pass out and just hit on the oxygen, play dead if you need to. But that's just avoidance. This is really about setting boundaries and learning to do it in a way that doesn't offend. You know, I think this is, you know, a time for all of us to up our emotional IQ and say things maybe back in the past we could say, oh, just leave me alone. But you don't want to say leave me alone, like in that way, just to someone that's going, you know what I mean? We have to be gentle with ourselves and other people. And that's a terrible example. But there's so many ways and so many tones and so many, you know, we need to educate the people around us and just say, you know what, maybe something along the lines of like, I don't necessarily have to be talking in order to be in company with you. And is it okay if we spend time together without saying anything? Or, you know, examples. But you've got to be able to open up. You've got to open up that throat chakra and say something, okay, Taurus? All right. I'm going to leave you with that. I'm like, should I get some advice for you? But I feel like this whole thing has been an advice fest. So I'm going to go pick at my eyelashes because they feel very clumpy and weird. And I know I'm talking about eyelashes while we're talking about like your mental health state. But maybe you get a little giggle out of that. And I'm glad you got to share this little beautiful area with me as I reminisce. And I'm gonna go, I don't know if it's gonna rain. I'm gonna check my radar. I'm trying to get one more done outside and then start doing some Patreon content for May. I lied. I said I was gonna do it in March, but I didn't. So forgive me. But blessings. Thank you so much for spending time with me, and I hope to see you next time. I hope you let me know if you enjoy this the content and the, what's the word? The space or area. Okay, the bench. All right, bye, Taurus.